There is a heaven and there's a hell. And I got news for you. In this Bible that we read, that we study, that we teach from, that we preach from, that we walk concerning, in this Bible there is no purgatory. There is no in-between. How many of you know Jesus has 7 times more to say about hell than what he did about heaven? So it's a pretty serious place. Pretty important place. He had more to say about that than he did about heaven. Did you ever notice he never one time mentioned a purgatory? He never mentioned, listen, the Indians, they always had the happy hunting ground. I never heard of the unhappy hunting ground. Have you? They always had the happy hunting ground, things like that. There is no, either with Jesus, it's all or nothing. There is no straddling the fence. There is no in between. Anyway, he says, verse 27, if I cast out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do your sons cast them out? Well, now like I said, we're just laying the foundation now. We're going to get to the real deep stuff next week. We just laid the foundation right now. I want you to have something to start building on. If I cast out demons by Beelzebub, who do your sons cast them out by? The Pharisees and their disciples claim that they cast out demons. But in reality, they didn't, because they were of Satan as well. Jesus had already told them that. He said, you're of your father the devil. Remember a few chapters back? He said, you're of your father the devil. Or even John, you are of your father the devil. They claimed they went around doing this. But he threw it back on them. Well, if I do it, if I cast out demons by Beelzebub, who do you cast them out by? Because your father's the devil. He didn't pull any punches. People think that some of us preachers now that we're crass and we're hard-line, hard-nosed. Oh, y'all don't know anything. Jesus didn't play. Him, John Baptist, those guys, they didn't play. They called names. They didn't care how big the crowd was. They called names. Now, they just called them out. They didn't count it. They called them out. There was no doubt who Jesus was talking to. When he told a crowd of people, he pinpointed a certain thing. There wasn't any doubt who he was talking to, who he was addressing. He didn't hide behind anything. 8 times in one passage, he calls out the Pharisees. He says, you, scribes and Pharisees, and 8 times in that one passage, he says, you guys, you're who I'm talking to, you're who I'm talking about, you are hypocrites. You let somebody get in the pulpit and do that now, and people say, oh, that man lost his mind. Oh, he don't love people. Let me tell you what, when Jesus called those guys hypocrites, he loved them just as much then as he ever loved them before or since. But it was time they knew the truth. It was time that they heard the truth. We're living in a society, you hear me say it so many times, and I know I'm repetition a lot of times, but repetition is the mode of learning. And I know it's repetitious, and I know you hear it a lot, not just from me, you hear it from a lot of other sources too, probably. But we are in a society now that does not like the truth, that cannot handle the truth. And they didn't pull any punches. They didn't soften the blows. If I'm casting out devils by Beelzebub, who do you think you're casting out devils by? You accuse me of casting out devils by Beelzebub, and yet you and your crowd say you go around casting out, and I doubt that was true. Because the devil don't cast out the devil. So I doubt they were being truthful when they said they cast out devils. They were probably lying. Because he just said the devil don't cast out the devil. The devil don't divide his kingdom against itself. And so he's letting these guys know in no uncertain terms. You say you cast out devils? If you do, who do you cast them out by? Because your father's the devil. Understand, Jesus didn't cast out demons because he was God. He cast out demons as a man filled with and anointed by the Holy Ghost. And he did that for a reason. And we may not get in all that day, but we may hit some of it, but we'll have to get the rest of it later on probably, because I do want to get a little deeper even into that. So he says, if I cast out demons by the Spirit of God, or I'm sorry, verse 27. If I cast out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore, they shall be your judges. Now verse 28. But